Hello everyone, and welcome to Thick on Top. Today we'll be talking about how stress affects the body. Stress can be the leading cause of many diseases and many conditions, but we're going to be focusing specifically on how stress affects your hair and how you can lower stress so you can have healthier, thicker, and stronger hair. Just a quick disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist. If you need medical advice, please seek out a medical professional. So stress is meant to serve our bodies. However, when we're exposed to it for too long or for too often, it can be incredibly destructive. But to our ancestors, it was great because if they went out hunting for 10 hours, someone stepped on a stick 2 hours in, their body released cortisol, their wound became inflamed, and that actually protected their wound so they could finish the hunt, get home, and take care of it. So stress would also help them in the face of danger. Cortisol helps keep your blood pressure and your heart rate elevated. So if they needed to run or be hyper aware, their body had a system for that. All of these reactions are built-in systems to help us. However, when we are exposed to stress for too long or too often, it can be incredibly destructive and have lots of negative side effects. We were never meant to be in a constant inflammatory state, like always go, 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 like so many of us are today. Many experts are saying that inflammation caused by cortisol is the root of all evil when it comes to disease in our bodies. And we're seeing more of it today than ever. So when we're stressed, our bodies release cortisol, epinephrine, and norepinephrine. And these chemicals affect our bodies in some really interesting ways. When our cortisol levels rise, it also causes our sebaceous glands to be stressed out as well. When our sebaceous glands are stressed, it forces them into like a hyperdrive, an overdrive state. When they're in overdrive, they are producing even more sebum, and it just creates an oil buildup on our scalp. This oil then clogs our pores, our hair follicles, and makes it hard for our scalp to breathe. And you can imagine this is going to cause our hair to suffer a bit. Also, excess sebum can promote growth of the yeast that is linked to dandruff on the scalp. And with excess dandruff, that's not necessarily creating a healthy environment for your hair to grow either. Also, there are some studies that suggest that with excess sebum on the scalp, it's also creating inflammation on the scalp as well. Another condition that may develop is telogen effluvium. There's a really wide spectrum for this one. Basically, when you're stressed, the excess cortisol signals to your hair follicles to go from the anagen phase, which is the growth phase, to the catagen phase, which is more the transitioning phase, into the telogen phase, which is actually the resting phase, the phase which it enters right before it falls out. Normally, about 10% of our hairs at any given time on our head are in this telogen phase, and that's why we lose about 100 hairs a day, give or take. However, under extremely stressful situations, our body actually pushes more and more of these hairs into the telogen phase, and we can start losing a lot more. Now, if you lower your stress and get back to normal, this condition is reversed. In most cases, your hair grows back. However, the longer you stay stressed, the harder it's going to be to reverse this condition. Now, telogen effluvium can be brought on by really intense, stressful situations like a woman giving birth or a car accident, a really major car accident can force your body to develop this condition. It can also be brought on by being exposed to stress for a long period of time, like if you're working long hours, day after day, getting home just in time to take care of the kids, not getting enough sleep, and just overall not taking care of yourself. Now, to talk about all the different ways that stress can affect your hair health. I could talk for hours talking about how when you're stressed, it can negatively affect your immune system, which is possibly linked to your hair health. We could also talk about how when you're stressed, it negatively affects your digestive system, meaning you're not pulling as much nutrients from your food, there's not as much nutrients in your blood anymore, and your hair follicles have less and less to work with, affecting your hair health. We could also talk about how high cortisol levels are linked to high cholesterol levels. And high cholesterol levels can cause buildup within our arteries, our veins, and our capillaries, thus slowing blood flow, affecting our hair follicles and our scalp. But I don't want to do that because I just want to talk about common sense. If you say your body has a disease, what you're really saying is your body is not at ease, you are in dis-ease. When you're stressed, your body just doesn't function properly. Unfortunately, your entire body will be affected, and your hair is definitely included. I might even go as far to say that when you're stressed, your body enters kind of like a survival mode. It's going to take care of what it needs first, and then its wants and its extras later. And unfortunately, I don't think hair is an absolute necessity to the body, and I believe that's why when our lives get stressed, our body tends to shed hair a little more than normal. So I personally have suffered from stress-induced hair loss. There was a time in my life when I was working 16 hours a day. I wasn't sleeping well, definitely wasn't working out. I was eating junk food, wasn't taking care of myself. And I remember I would sit still and I could feel my blood pressure was high. My skin would tingle. I had this energy inside of me that I wanted to run and scream, but I also wanted to sit still all at the same time. And it was just this built up energy inside of me. And at the time, I didn't know how to release it. I didn't know how it was affecting me. Obviously I was losing more hair and that freaked me out. I was really concerned at the time because I didn't know that stress was linked to hair fall. But now I can be at peace because I know I'm in control, which is awesome. So I believe that stress-induced hair loss could be in part genetic, meaning we're all prone to react to certain things in different ways. My sister, for example, she had telogen effluvium when my parents got divorced. She had a lot more hair shedding. She wouldn't let anyone touch her hair. She would run her hands through her hair and she would just have clumps falling out. And this lasted for about a year, but she recovered and she has thick hair once again. Now, if you feel like you're stuck with high stress levels and you just have a hard time feeling relaxed, here are a few tips that can help you with your stress, get those cortisol levels back to normal, and help your hair to be happy and healthy. Number one is to exercise. Now this one seems pretty obvious, but the reason people say that is because when you exercise, your body releases endorphins, which then react with your parasympathetic nervous system, which actually helps you relax and calm down. The hormones that are released when you work out actually counteract the ones that are released when you're stressed. So how much exercise do you actually need? Different studies say different things. However, I think a healthy balance is anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes every other day of medium intensity exercise, meaning your heart rate is up, you're deep breathing, and you're constantly moving during that time period. Number two, this one's interesting. As I was doing research for this video, I found in many different places, people suggested to reduce stress, to also reduce your stimulants. So one that they mentioned a lot was caffeine. They said try to limit it to 2 cups of coffee a day or whatever your equivalent is in your source of caffeine. They also said try not to have any caffeine after noon. Also, sugar is considered a stimulant. So if we can cut back on sugar, apparently that helps our bodies to be more balanced inside, also helping our stress levels. Another stimulant is your screen. Whether your phone, your computer, your TV, reduce the time you're spending in front of a screen. Spend time enjoying nature, talking to friends and family, that type of thing, not being isolated and staring at a screen for a long period of time. Get up, move around, just enjoy life a little bit more without the screens, and I promise you will feel a lot less stressed. Number 3, healthy diet. This one again is pretty obvious. Keep it simple, guys. I'm not telling you to eat any less or any more. Just have one rule in place. Let half of everything you eat be a fruit or a vegetable. Also, however much water you're drinking right now, try to double it. Try to get to as much as 1 gallon a day. With higher intake of water, your body is going to be so much happier and it's going to function a lot better. Number 4, meditation. I love meditation. It is amazing for your stress levels. To start, you can try yoga. Yoga is doing specific poses while focusing on your breath. So it is great to help calm your body down. Also, just try closing your eyes and breathing. I do what I call box breathing, meaning I breathe for 5 seconds all the way in, the deepest breath I can take. I hold for 5 seconds and then I release for 5 seconds and I breathe all the air out. The very last bit, I hold for 5 seconds and I do it all over again. I do that for about 10 minutes each and every morning, and it has helped me so much. So to conclude, high levels of stress, it's just not good for our bodies. It prevents our bodies from functioning properly. If you take these steps into consideration, within 2 days, maybe even less, you'll start to notice a pretty big difference. You'll start to notice that you just feel calm. You feel like you can relax and just be present. And that feels really good. It feels really, really good. At times when I'm not taking care of myself, I notice it, and I just notice my brain just won't stop. I have a hard time falling asleep. But when I'm relaxed and I'm doing what I know I should do, I feel like my body is just functioning properly, and I love it. And I feel healthier. And I know that as I feel healthier, every single part of me is healthier, including my hair. If you've liked what you've heard today, please give this video a big thumbs up. Also subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified anytime I post a new video. Also, if there's any topics you want me to cover, please leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll do my best to get to it in another video. Thank you for watching Thick on Top. See you next time.